guys, and welcome back. Now today we're going to be filming episode 3 of LEGO Train Renovations. Now if you couldn't guess already from the start of the video, then yeah, this is the K-Class's time to shine. Now remember in my last video I mentioned the updates to my steam locomotives. Well, I've updated the K-Class locomotive and the J-Class. I might do the J-Class separately, because even though they may be similar, pretty similar in design, there's actually quite a lot of changes that happen to these locomotives. So, unfortunately I don't really have much behind the scenes pictures. I don't think I have any actually, really. So this will really just be showcasing what has changed with the K-Class locomotive. So hopefully you guys can forgive me for that, and hopefully the next time I do a LEGO Train Renovations, apart from the J-Class, I'll actually have behind the scenes pictures. I'll remember to take pictures of them, because I actually didn't know whether this would turn out well until, well, it did. So, let's have a look about what changed on the K-Class locomotive, and what it's going to look like in the future. Alright, so here is the old K-Class design. As you can see, pretty much, well, same as it usually looks, really. Nothing really changed with the K, apart from the new teapot light, which I actually added, I think, last year, which is crazy, or a year ago. But that's not what I wanted to show you. No, I wanted to actually show you guys, this. Oh boy, that's not good. My iPad has a huge reflection on the screen. Hang on guys, let me try and fix this real quick. But yeah, so we're going to go through what changed with the K-Class locomotive. Alright, so starting with the side view of the locomotive, as you can see, already this locomotive looks a lot more nicer. And yeah, like it just looks so much nicer in my opinion. We're going to go through the changes. So probably one of the very first changes you're going to notice is these lights, these little bits extra lights added to the front of the K. Now with my original K design, as you can see, no such thing as lights there. So that's the first change. Now the next change is the smoke deflector. Let's go with the left smoke deflector. As you can see, it is pretty small in terms of width. But if we go to my original K-Class design, you can see it is quite a bit longer. And yeah, it doesn't look the best. And we also have a look at the boiler. You see on the digital, the black one's actually slightly bigger than the red boiler. How here, they're the exact same thickness. Now, I actually had to challenge myself and build a completely brand new boiler design just for the K-Class and the J-Class. Now, this boiler is actually slightly smaller in all directions, top, side, and bottom, in order to create a slightly smaller boiler. This boiler also resulted in being 5 studs wide instead of 6, adding a tiny bit of an extra gap between the window frame. Where if you have a look at my original, as you can see, there is no such thing as a tiny little gap between the window and the boiler. And you also can see how the K's boiler is quite a bit thicker in terms of that. And this part, the back detailing part, is pretty thick too compared to the cab, as you can see there. And I also edited and added extra bits of detail on the K-Class. So this detail was just a random jumbo bunch of detail that really didn't make any sense, because at the time, well, I just wanted to add detail I couldn't really tell. Now, since I'm actually a lot more better in designing trains, I believe, I actually went back and try to find ways to actually make that detail somewhat accurate to the real K-Class locomotive. and I did indeed succeed, along with these side bits of detail here as well, which is quite a bit smaller as well. Well, quite a little bit more extra bits of detail. So yeah, edited that detail and actually made that accurate to the real K. And yeah, let's have a look at the new boiler design, what we're looking at here. Now this one was a bit tricky because I had to make sure that the boiler was built strong enough that it wouldn't just collapse or break. Alright, as you can see, that is quite an interesting design indeed, with a few holes and gaps, because these are 3 long that stretch across all the way from this side to the other side in order to keep them together nice and strong. Have nice long bases that stretch across these type of connection points, as you can see there, and you also have headlight bricks in order to get all 3 studs in the correct width. We're connecting it to the main boiler. It was quite a bit more trickier, but yeah, it really just involved a few brackets, jumper plates, and like a little circle connection piece shoved into the middle to make that correct. And since the boiler was shortened in width, this middle part, the back section here, also had to be shortened, which was already explained, to 5 studs wide. So yeah, I also shortened the entire back section too. And if you remember correctly, on my original K class, there's actually some dark red above the white, above in front of the yellow. So I found out the real K actually had this more shorter, so I just removed an entire brick. I might just show an image there instead of just getting the K right here. And then finally, with the K class's cab, I also shortened, because the boiler height was originally shortened down by 2 whole plates, I also had to shorten this entire cab section here as well. And it is also shorter by 1 whole stud in width, where the roof stayed the original length, because that's quite accurate. And then as you can see, the tender, which I've actually still have not built in real life, which is kind of sad. But yeah, the tender was also shortened in height in order to make it more accurate towards the actual K class's roof. And it's actually now starting to look more like a K class, which I really, really like. So yeah, just a bunch of changes in terms of detail. Boiler side, the smoke deflectors, the front, getting rid of that nasty large gap in between the curve, but I'm going to keep it on the R class because, well, if I made it shorter then it wouldn't work. You see how that's just a tiny gap? The brick ends perfectly within that slope. If you have a look at the original K, you can see there's quite a bit of an extra bump added, and it's all because of rearranging the connection pieces, which is crazy how much of a difference just that simple change can do to a boiler. So yeah, not every single locomotive will get this new boiler design, because the R cannot be lowered down anymore without making the boiler on top looking too small compared to the bottom. So yeah, those are just a few simple changes, and also shortened the front as well in order to get that part there a lot smaller. So yeah, there you go. That's pretty much all the changes that have happened to the K-class locomotive, along with a little bit more of a longer piston as well. I might actually edit that and make that more curved. But yeah, that's basically what the K-class is going to look like in the future, and I honestly am very excited to see this new K-class design. So yeah, what do you guys think of this? And I'm sorry that it wasn't really much of a renovation episode, but I thought it was worthy to discuss. I'm not sure if I'm going to call this Lego Train Renovation story. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, just also wanted to say, on last week we were on a train trip, so that's also why we didn't upload last week either. So thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you guys enjoy this new change that will happen to the K class at one point in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys all next time. Bye!